Limbaugh has some fun with the ignorant incoherence of Ocasio-Cortez. On his industry-leading talk radio show Monday, Rush Limbaugh discussed a young Democratic candidate who's become the face and voice of the Democratic Socialist wing of the party, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, and her instantly viral appearance on The Daily Show with Trevor Noah. The really important thing about this to understand is this woman has a degree in economics from Boston University, said Limbaugh before playing the clip of her Daily Show interview. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is a graduate from Boston U. She has a degree in economics, and it's clear she doesn't know anything. If this level, this degree of complete economic ignorance can get you a degree in economics from a major American university, then something is drastically, terribly wrong. He then played Ocasio-Cortez's explanation for how she proposes we pay for the Medicare for all and free college for all and guaranteed living wage for all that she is promoting. Here's her response. Ocasio-Cortez, this is an excellent question, and, in fact, there's a lot of back-of-the-envelope stuff based on our values. So, for example, I sat down, with a Nobel Prize economist last week. I can't believe I can say that. It's really weird. But one of the things that we saw is, if people pay their fair share. If corporations and the ultra-wealthy. For example, as Warren Buffett likes to say, if he paid as much as his secretary paid, 15% if he paid a 15% tax rate, if, corporations paid. If, we reverse the tax bill but raise our corporate tax rate to 28%, which is not even as high as it was before. If we do those two things and also close some of those loopholes, that's $2 trillion right there. Somehow managing to contain himself for that long, Limbaugh finally weighed in. Ladies and gentlemen, this is wandering aimlessly through our vocabulary in our search of coherence. This is entirely incoherent, and to call it ignorant is to give it too much credit, he said. Forget ideology for a second and let's just look at some readily available facts, said Limbaugh, after noting that Ocasio-Cortez is being heralded as the future of the Democratic Party. We have just come off 8 years of economic stagnation. No economic growth to speak of. We have had tax increases out the wazoo in the past 8 years, including all of the new taxes brought on by the government taking over healthcare with Obamacare. We had the President of the United States, Barack Obama, running around to places like West Virginia, Indiana, and Ohio and telling people out of work, it's too bad, but your jobs are never coming back, and if someone tells you that your job will be coming back, he's waving a magic wand, but what's he gonna do? What's Trump gonna do? Just wave a magic wand? You got to get ready for the fact those jobs are not coming back. Obama's anti-American exceptionalism message, said Limbaugh, was exactly the same as Ocasio-Cortez's message. We didn't really deserve our robust past, and we needed brilliant people like him to manage this decline so that resources, which would be dwindling, could be distributed more fairly and equally to the population at large. After just a year and a half of a presidency embracing American greatness, said Rush, we have seen the economy roaring back. Does this woman have the ability to look at facts on the ground? Asked Limbaugh. Have you looked at the latest revenue that has been collected by taxes? It's a record high. The government is collecting record tax revenue after Trump's tax cuts. This also happens every time it's dried. It's simple math. More people are working than under Obama, and thus more people are paying taxes. So even per capita taxes may be down and the amount of money individuals are paying, it's more than made up by all the new taxpayers that are happily working, whereas a year and a half ago they weren't. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and her economics degree, would literally kill this economy, and she is clueless. She hasn't the slightest idea, because all she has been educated to understand is liberal cliché, said Limbaugh. He then read from a tweet reported by the Daily Wire. Limbaugh offered his line-by-line rebuttal. The GOP is, weak on fighting for working-class Americans. Really? Working-class Americans are doing better than they have in the last 15 years, after just 1.5 years of being escaped from Obamaism. The GOP is weak on crime. Really? Who is it that wants to let felons out of jail so they can vote? The GOP is weak on equal rights. The GOP is weak on national security. Who is it trying to secure the border? Who is it that's trying to make illegal immigrants don't get in and national security is maintained? Who is it that wants to get rid of customs and ICE? It's the Democrats, and they claim they are tough on national security? The GOP is weak on rejecting racism. Let me tell you who the real racists are. The real racists today are Democrats, and they are racist against Republican blacks. The most vile invective, the most insulting racial epithets uttered in America today are uttered by black Democrats at black Republicans and conservatives. The GOP is weak on family values. That probably means the GOP doesn't think LGBTQ define. I don't know. But this is also absurd. Weak on family values? The country with a party that tries to keep families together by limiting the number of babies killed is weak on family values? Limbaugh concluded the mini-rant by describing Ocasio-Cortez as a glittering jewel of colossal ignorance who doesn't know it. Rush then played another clip from her Daily Show appearance, but wasn't able to hold back quite as long. Ocasio-Cortez, it's gonna take $3 to $4 trillion to transition to us 100% renewable energy economy. We got $2 trillion from folks paying their fair share, which they were not paying before the Trump tax bill. They weren't. Note. Like, they weren't paying that before the Trump tax bill. If we get people to pay their fair share, that's $2 trillion in 10 years. Now, if we implement a carbon tax. Wait a minute. Stop the tape. He interjected. How many Democrat tax increases have there been on the basis that we need to make people pay their fair share? The bottom of 50% of American taxpayers don't pay any income tax. The top 10% of taxpayers are paying 90% of all income taxes, and the federal government is collecting record tax revenue. It's an all-time high with the Trump tax cuts. She does not know what she's talking about, and she is the